I don't know, but I just believe that it could go to the next demand zone. But I don't know how long. It could take 1 hour, it could take 2 hours. Hey guys, it's Will. Welcome to the channel. I'm a part-time day trader trying to become a full-time. Today's video, I'm going to break down this trade that I took, and it was an A+ setup that I just had to take it. I did do a live trade on it, so I am going to play that clip first, and then I'm going to break down the trade. All right, I keep thinking about shorting this level, but then this crazy ass volume just came out of nowhere. I didn't want to take it earlier because it just kept sliding down, and I just didn't believe it was there's gonna be a potential bounce, so I just have to wait for it. And if it just falls down, then I just can't take the trade. I've seen this quite a few times where it's going down, where everyone wants to short it, and then it does a crazy volume, it goes back up, and then they get out of their positions, and then it starts to work again. And that is the break and retest. I look for the retest, and then I take my position there. I don't chase the downside. If it just happens, if it just falls down, then I just don't take it. And it sucks that I don't take the trade, but I had to follow my setup. I had to follow the break and retest. I gotta make sure retest is the level. I'm thinking right now if I should take the SPY, but I might just go for QQQ because it is less risk. And yeah, I think I might have to take it here. Yeah, I'm just gonna start it there. My risk is actually not that big. It's only 50 cents. But we'll kind of see how it plays out. I wanted to take it earlier, but it just kept falling. I knew there would be a potential bounce. It could have been a fake out, but I'm just gonna trust it. My risk is pretty small right now, and I'm not risking that much. If I lose, probably maybe 10%, which is not even anything. But I just gotta take my shot here. There is the lows on the pre-market that maybe it can hold. Maybe that's the potential low, but we'll see. The SPY is breaking lower. It is making newer lows, but the Nasdaq is still holding the low still. Not bad, not bad. It's only 23%. Because it is only a dollar move, so it isn't anything too crazy right now. My ultimate target would be the 515 or the demand lows on the Nasdaq and QQQ, just the demand lows in general. But it is really far, and I can't really scale out, so I don't really want to hold it that long. But I will try to hold as long as possible. I just don't want to lose profits. Yeah, normally I would want to go out here. It's because it went down a lot, but I am trying to work on holding longer because I know that I don't know, but I just believe that it could go to the next demand zone. But I don't know how long. It could take 1 hour, it could take 2 hours. It could do a bounce and then go back down and then bounce again. But I would have thought it would have been up like 60% already. The last couple of days, the last weeks, the volume is pretty crazy and the ranges are pretty big, so that's why the percentage is not as crazy, because the volatility is a lot higher. Because normally this move would have been already 60%. If I lose this trade, then I'll only lose like 10%. So right now this trade could be like a 4 to 1, 5 to 1 if I sell it around here. And I actually might think about selling here. Yeah, I think I might just sell out here. It's a pretty good trade right now. It could go lower for sure, but I don't have I can't really scale out. So this is the 2-minute on the Nasdaq, and we can see that it did get to demand zones like I was believing, but I did not hold into that level. And I think we got out, I believe, around this area right here. And if I had more options to scale out, then yes, I would like to hold longer. It's very hard to hold like your whole profits to the demand zones, because even though this is a demand zone at chart, it doesn't mean it's gonna 100% guaranteed. I'm not like a guru. It's not always going to be 100% accurate, and this could have been like, let's say I sold out here and this one could have been the low, and then it just could have kept going up, and if I did not lock my profits, I could have lost that trade. Sometimes I sell because there's a potential demand zone, and then that was a low, and that was the best profit zone that I got off of. So it really depends. You got to make sure you lock in profits when you are doing well. I am going to go to the QQQ right now, and I'm going to zoom out to 30 minutes to show you guys where I got this level from. If I go zoom out a little further, we can see that the low of the QQQ was 437.15. This was the exact low. This was the low on Wednesday, and the pre-market is also trying to hold this level right here. So my strategy is the break and retest. If I draw a box like this is the area of my support zone and my supply zone. So if it breaks that zone, I can play a retest short. I wait for the breakdown of that level, and then I'll play a retest. Once it starts retesting, then I'll play a short into the next demand zone, which is this level right here. So the QQQ is one of the charts I look at, and if I go to my 4 charts like you were seeing before in my live trade, we can see that we do have 4 charts. We do have the QQQ, we have the Nasdaq, we have the SPY, and the ES. And I look at all 4 of the charts. I try to make sure they align together, and then I can play my position. I can place my trade once I look at all the markets together. So the levels are pretty similar. I zoomed out 30 minutes, 1 hour, and found my level there. If I zoom with the QQQ, we can see that the level was right here. And then the SPY is the same thing. The Wednesday low was exactly at 520.27. ES had the low at 52.50. The 52.50 is right here, and also right over here as well. So the 52.50 was a big level, and if it did break, I can play a break and retest short there. I'm gonna go back here, and the Nasdaq is the same thing as the QQQ. The low was the 18,116 right here. That's why I marked my low right there. We see that the market did start breaking down early morning, and we see these wicks. We start seeing these wicks on the market like this. We start seeing the wicks. I'm not really interested in shorting it if it's playing around that level. I want to see like an actual break, and it was breaking down this ES and SPY level right here. But we can see that it keeps wicking back up, and it's really playing a lot of games. There's a lot of volume, and I don't know if it's actually going to break down. Maybe this could have been a support zone, and it could have been bought back up. And I always wait for the retest, right? I wait for it to break down the level and slowly start retesting the level, and then I can short it there. And having a proper risk, my risk could be like right there, have a small risk. Every time when you're playing a short position or even a long position, there's always going to be a bounce no matter what. We see that the ES and the SPY are just falling down. It's falling down, and it's not really going back up. It hasn't really stair-stepped downwards. It hasn't really went down, go back up. That's usually how a downtrend is, and I didn't see it yet, so that's why I was waiting for a bounce. It did do a bounce right here. It was actually a crazy volume. When I saw that, I'm like, is this even going to be a good play? Is this going to be a short? I was thinking that because the Nasdaq and the QQQ started going back above the levels right here, but I knew that I could play off the SPY. I can play off this level right here. That'll be a little bit more risk, but I started seeing the Nasdaq and the QQQ starting to reject this level right here, and I'm like, maybe I should play off that. I know that this could be where people think it's going to go back up, and they get off their short positions, and then that's where I get in. I got in exactly the time where I needed to, and I got a really good risk reward. Although the SPY could have went back up, it could have retested this level right here. It could have come a lot closer, and then maybe the candles would have been higher than the QQQ, and then I could have got off there. But I knew that I had to give it a little space, and if I really had to, which I was going to, I was gonna move my QQQ to like the high of this candle, so it would have been like 438. Because in the morning I did have it at 438, but the exact low was 437.50, so that's why I wouldn't mind changing it back there. If I do take out the short position calculator, I think I got it around 437.50 or around 40. My risk will be like 438, which is about 50 cents, and then I got off like I think this area right here. So even though it doesn't seem a lot, it is about a 4.5 risk to reward, which that is really amazing. That's really good. Even though I say in my past videos my risk reward is 60%, or that'll be my 2 to 1, but it really depends on the trade. Like I said, this trade right here was a 4.5 to 1 risk reward, which that is really good. If I did get to my target, which was around this lower here, this would have been like a 8 to 9 out of 1, and that would have been amazing. That is the break and retest for you. I waited for the break and the retest of the previous day lows, and it goes all the way to the demand zones. That is my A+ setup. In my previous video, I was kind of scared to take a position because it was getting closer to your level, and when it gets closer to your level, like let's say it starts retesting this level right here, that's where you're supposed to get in, even though that's where you want to get out. Like your stop loss will be like right here, 437.75. That's where your stop loss is. If it's at that level, you don't really want to get in because it can easily just go back up like that, and then you lose already. So that's why when it starts to going down like this, that's when people want to get in. But when you get in like that, you are risking more because it has more space to go back up, and you do have to get it more time. Let's say you got it down here, it's working out really good, but your risk to reward, your stop loss will be up here, and you are risking a lot more than what, let's say over here, like I did. And even though it's scary, even though your brain is telling you not to get in because it's just too close to your zone, you can just get out, you can just get faked out right away. But that is the proper risk reward. That is the best time to get in when people are scared of trying to short the position. And what I like to say is, how you do one thing is how you do everything. Keep staying disciplined, keep staying consistent, and let's just get 1% better every day, and I'll see you in the next one.